Everybody's favorite lesson seems to be pause, eject, play, which is shocking. I didn't expect that one to be the favorite one, but for the most of the reviews I've gotten so far, pause, eject, play is by far the favorite. That lesson is about ejecting the rejection that we dealt with. And so I give the story a scenario about having a new DVD player. And I had this new DVD, but it was stuck in the player. And I couldn't figure out why the DVD wasn't playing because it was a new DVD player. Well, come to find out, I had a DVD already in the player. So even though I had this new DVD, because there was a DVD already in the player, my new DVD wouldn't work. And so what basically that lesson says, without telling you everything, is that in order for you to begin to walk in your newness, you have to eject some old things that are in the way so that you can live in full play mode. And that is the lesson that everybody loves. But for me, my favorite lesson is GPS. Why? Because GPS is all about experiencing some reroutes that I thought my story was going to play out one way. I had my mind made up on the age I would get married and how many kids I would have and what job I would have and all of these great things. And then I look at my life as I'm approaching 30 and it's nothing like any of those things. Approaching 30, still single, no kids. And so it's kind of like, okay, God, what are you doing? And what did I miss? And just learning how to accept his rerouting. Not that I won't get to my destination, but along the way, a few bumps in the road, he has to redirect me, and I'll get there if I just stay focused. So that is my favorite lesson. But the hardest lesson for me to write was Potentially Yours. Potentially Yours was the hardest lesson to write because it was about one of the darkest places in my life. I didn't really want to be that transparent. That was the lesson that took me weeks to write. I would start it and stop it and start it and stop it, and I would keep telling my editor, like, look, it's just not going to make the book. Let's just write the whole book and leave that part out. And she kept pushing for me to add it in, pushing for me to write it, and I actually cried because I didn't want to write the story. I didn't want to have to face all of the things that I had already gone through. And one night I decided, let's just write it. And so telling my story and being completely honest with that story, I was so afraid of what people would think, of what would happen if they actually knew what I went through. But I did want to be honest in an attempt to help someone else. And so it was an inner conflict, but overall, I think the conclusion has been that is the most heartfelt of the lessons. That's the one that people relate to. I think my grandmother said that she actually cried at random one Sunday. She comes and gives me this big hug. And she was like, I cried at your love story. And I was like, what are you talking about? But then it dawned on me, like, oh, Potentially Yours. And the objective of that lesson is potential only, distraction always.